How's everybody doing? I hope everybody can hear me fine. And I just want to say welcome to show number 3. Figure that out. Live show number 3. And we have a lot of things to lock them up. We have a lot of things to talk about. I want to say, first off, if you're a member or something, you're going to get kind of privileges before everyone else. And I just got to say thank you to those people that are members. But I want to start off by just a little bit of this has been another freaky, crazy week. I'm not joking. It's been crazy week. And we're going to talk about a lot of stuff. And I'll answer your questions or whatever it is. But I have to say first, someone who has been in my life for like 20 plus years died this week. And his name was Rodney Smith. He was the first initial editor or owner of Coastal Angler magazine. He was the first person that I used to do covers for Coastal Angler magazine. Now I do pagination for him every month, and it's really he had his third stroke, and I don't really, I've never went into talking about my buddy Boudreaux who passed away. That was crazy a couple years ago, but this week, yesterday, I heard that Rodney Smith died, and I thought that I just needed to say thank you to Rodney, and I hope he rests in peace, and I hope Karen and the kids are all right, and I just wanted to say thank you. I know he can hear me, I hope, and I just got to say thank you for all the things that he did for me when I was really young. And I appreciate it. So thank you, Rodney. Okay. Hey, Jeff. So we have had a interesting week, and then today it kind of went even crazier. Now, I don't think any of you guys know, but this week, thanks, AZ. This week, I took down 2 videos about the NPFL, and you guys might have watched them, might have had a chance to watch them. The last one only was up for about 18 hours. It got a lot of views in 18 hours, but the information that was on there was confidential. I didn't know it was confidential, and some anglers shared it with me. And when I found out it was confidential, I thought, even though NPFL had called me and talked to me, I didn't know well, I guess the best way to put it is I thought the best thing to do was to take down the video, even though they didn't ask me to take it down. I felt like it was the right thing to do so that I wasn't hurting another angler. And so I took down 2 things from the NPFL. Of course, then yesterday morning, the fight occurred with Brad Fuller and a couple anglers. And it was even weirder, to be honest. It was like this week was an NPFL week for me until tonight. And the argument and the fight there's a lot to the story, and I was going to do a video on it too, but I'm just going to keep it real. I've had such a up and down roller coaster relationship with Brad and some of the people on NPFL, and I'm not talking about Luke or Fat Cat in this case, just the upper management. And then after the deal with taking their videos down because I thought it was the right thing to do, and then this argument fight, I try to be very current and send you guys all the information that I'm getting on here that's coming out. But this was the first week that I've actually had to say, even though I wanted to do the video and I knew the video would do great, and this is like my job. I'm trying to make videos to make money and do things, but in this case I felt like it wasn't the right thing to do in that case too. Also, there was just so many wild and crazy things that were going out there yesterday morning, and getting information from them was really tough because, truth be told, they're going to probably just keep their mouth shut because there's more to the story than we know. We don't know. We only know one side of the story. And and Brad isn't saying his side yet. And I don't know if Brad will say his side, but I really apologize that I didn't put that video out. And I'm sorry that I didn't do it. However, today's deal with Ben Miliken has been it's been shocking. I really don't know where to go with Ben Miliken. I actually filmed something and I called Ben and I called the Texas Parks and Wildlife people. And what does that say? Huh. And I called their press department and they didn't answer the phone. When I heard about what was going on with Ben and his alleged fraud case, his freshwater tournament fishing fraud case, my mind was blown because there are a lot of people that really love Ben and there's a lot of people that don't. But I don't want to jump into something and then say, he did this, this, and this, and not be as factual as I could. And RC said it's a license. It could have been a license, but the one thing I would say, RC, about, and thank you for being here, by the way, everybody. The thing I'm questioning about the license is who really gets thrown in jail and has a misdemeanor A and B charge put to them for just having a license issue. I think there's a little bit more to it. I think there might be something with the lunker share or whatever it is. I'm not 100% sure. So I don't want to go out there and trash Ben, even though he's been very vocal about saying there's a whole bunch of armchair quarterbacks, which I kind of take personally because, I really do my best to be as factual as possible. But I'm not sure where this leads. I can tell you, like I said, you can see my notes. I don't mind. You probably can't. So what I did is I actually texted Ben. I'm going to move this down just a little bit, I think, because it seems like I might be going up higher. I texted Ben. I did text. I called the Texas Parks and Wildlife. They gave me another to the press people, and they told me it's an ongoing investigation. So it isn't done yet. We don't know what's going on. And the thing is that because we don't know what's getting on, we can't jump to conclusions. That's the thing. And I think CT is probably working on a thing, and we'll see. Let me just put that up. Scott, there is a big thing. I can read it. Like, I'll read it off this. He was charged with a freshwater fishing tournament fraud. He was arrested on a misdemeanor on Thursday and was quickly released from jail. Now, he took to Instagram this afternoon, and he said that it was a legal issue that he's facing in a recent incident that happened in February. The issue is due to a complete misunderstanding and unrelated to any elite series or local fishing tournament. I participated in the fact the incident arose while recreational fishing and not in tournament at all. It'll explain the rest, but it's an ongoing investigation. Now, the thing that I read on this, hey, Bass Man, hey, Fishy Bass Man, I need to say it as much as possible to everybody. I just want to say hello. Thank you, Living Missouri Outdoor. So I really am questioning if it's really a license issue, but it could be. It could be that he didn't have a license, had some sort of share, lunker share, however it is. For here, it's called trophy catch in Florida. And that might be some of the issue. It happened in February. So then this has been an ongoing investigation for a very, very long time. And when you start dealing with that and then not knowing the whole situation they were supposed to put a press release out today and they didn't, the Texas Parks and Wildlife. I should say, in doing the research, I have some serious notes that I don't mind sharing. So if you look at what they call a Michigan outdoorsman. Hey, there you go. I like to see the Michigan boys here. So fraud in fishing tournaments are, here's what it says for that statute. The person provides, offers to provide, sells, or offers to sell a fish to a participant in the tournament for the purpose of representing that the fish was caught by the participant in the course of the tournament. That's number one. Or it could be number two, the person, as a participant in the tournament, accepts or agrees to accept a fish from another person for the purpose of representing that the fish was caught by the participant in the course of the tournament. Or number three, it could be the person, as a participant in the tournament, represents that a fish was caught by a person in the course of the tournament when, in fact, the fish did not get caught by the person, or the fish was not caught in the course of that tournament. Four, the person alters the length of the weight in the fish for the purpose of representing that the fish is entered in the tournament that was length or width was when caught. And then number five, the person enters in a fish in a tournament that was taken in violation of the provision of the code or a proclamation or regulation at the commission adopted by the code. Now, here's where I think you need to hear this. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, D. D states an offense under this section can be a Class A misdemeanor. Now, we had a Class A misdemeanor, except if the offense occurred during a tournament in which any prior or combination of prizes to be awarded for any one category for which an award is given, whether the prize or prizes are to an individual or a team, is worth $10,000 or more in money or goods, then it's considered a third-degree felony. That's where I don't know where it is. The other thing that we have to remember is when you get caught and you go get a mug shot, you don't smile. So there's something there, because he was like, oh, I'm going to smile, his normal smile. I'm not sure where this goes. And putting out a video and not knowing what's happening and having to say alleged over and over and over is tough. It's tough to do. But there's obviously something there. And Ben isn't going to talk about it until the ongoing investigation is done. And it doesn't seem like the Texas Parks and Wildlife people are doing anything either, because they were supposed to have more to the press release. And that's it. I love that. It was an April Fool's. And remember, it's Friday the 13th. So this comes out. Let's hit the brakes. This comes out at like 3 o'clock, 3:30, in that range. My phone didn't vibrate. I actually got online to look at something for my son for Christmas. And when I got on, it was the very first thing on the top of my feed. And I went, this has got to be fake. And I looked into it. And then I thought, well, maybe the website was like owned by The Onion or something, something crazy. And then I thought, this can't be true, because if it is true, this is a game changer for his career. And he just got on that Bassmaster Elite Angler Advisory Board just a little bit ago. And here this thing happened. And all these things start to mesh. And then the next thing you know, now I'm doing a video with 3 or 4 pages of notes and then saying allegedly nonstop. And I hate that. But there's a lot to this story, just like the fight on NPFL. We've only heard one side of the angler side and the people who were the people who called the police. And I'm sure, just like Ben is, I'm sure Brad Fuller is going to also make sure that he gets in there and tells his side of the story. So let me just put that up there. The story is he purchased a license. And that's exactly what I'm saying. That to not have a fishing license doesn't mean you committed fraud. That's the whole thing. And if you start going out there and saying, it's just because of a license, to me, and no disrespect, that doesn't make sense. There's something else behind this that we're not being told. We're just told that right now he has a Class A and B misdemeanor, and he was put in jail for a very little time and then got out. And I don't know what the fines are. And it's crazy because I've seen some of the stuff And like I said, I just read the law, the Texas law, and excuse my doodle because I doodle on everything. But the Ben situation is one that I don't want to jump into without knowing as much as possible. And I don't think we're going to, like I said, I don't think we're going to hear from Ben. And at this point, we're not hearing from the Texas Parks and Wildlife Press group either. And that stinks. So let me just do this. Let me go through this. Okay. Don, could this have been checked by calling the police or courts in the jurisdiction it supposedly happened? I tried to call other people. The problem is that nobody answered the phone this afternoon. And it was kind of a little coincidental that it happened so late in the day that nobody could get their A, B's, and C's done. They only put that out, and that website only put that out, and they had very limited information too. Okay, the burning seed. If this is true, why hasn't other prospects? Exactly. That's why I don't think it's in my opinion, I don't think it's a license. I don't think you go to jail or get fraud for not having a fishing license. However, I'm not sure how Texas works. I'm just talking about Florida. Hold on. Next. Sonic PPO. You don't get arrested in Texas. Thank you. You get a fine. Thank you. I appreciate that, Sonic. I would give you I don't know how to give you a thumbs up. I can give you a star. Hold on. I don't know if that did anything. I don't have a clue. And so there's so much out there to try to figure out. And I don't want to be that person to jump the gun, even though I do believe posting something like this when you're trying to be news oriented, this is something very important. There's my boy. Let's put him up. Hey, Stephen. So let me put this up. Hold on. If this is true about a retro purchase of a license, then there was precedent. I believe it has it might be Fishy Bass Fawn. Love the name. It might be. I don't know. I think there's going to be some stuff that we're going to hear that's retroactive and a mistake. But here's I got to take a drink of water. Here's my thing. How don't you remember to get a fishing license? This is one of my pet peeves of like NPFL had that guy that lost $100,000 because he didn't click on something on your fishing license. I'm going someplace during Christmas. I've got my fishing license already because I know that I'm going to need it to go fishing. And to say people don't know about it, if you're thinking about where you're going in the future, why would you not get a fishing license? Or know when yours expires. I can tell you the exact day my Florida freshwater fishing license expires. And it expires on 7/10 of 2025. And I know I buy a 5-year license and I know it in my head. And I'm not saying that it's blanket stupidity, but it is blanket stupidity. It makes no sense. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not sure where this Ben Miliken things goes. I think we're going to find out more slowly and slowly and slowly. And I think this is one of those things that we're going to have a month or a year of content that's going to be little bit of tidbits here and there. Because right now, all we know is that he was arrested for exactly freshwater fishing tournament fraud. And this, unfortunately, unless he's completely cleared of all wrongdoings, this is something that is crazy. Hey, Catfish Terry, let me put some of these up. Thanks, my guy. Thank you. I'm going to go through some stuff. Scott, thank you. And that might be it, Scott. Fishing without license and fraudulent entry into a 10K competition. That could be it. Ronnie F. In Texas, licenses are valid from August to August. Yes, exactly. So you know exactly when you're going to get it. Yes, Daniel. Yeah, thank you. I have 2 waters today, so I don't have Thomas come in. So we don't know where he stands. We really don't know where he stands. And I think we're going to hear more and more as the days go on. And there'll be some people like if if you don't go see Cerebral Tackle, he's going to be on top of this. I don't know for sure. I can almost guarantee it because he has the background to do this that is just uh, kind of almost ridiculous. And so I would go do that. Hey, Chris, let me answer this. Would anyone know if they offer a national license? I think at certain age, there's an age that at 65 you can get in there. So in the burning season, you belong to the best. Yeah, I mean, which brings me to a subject that I want to know. I'm going to ask everybody this question that's on here because there's a bunch of people on here, and let me just say thank you. If you're a member or a super chatter or whatever, you get priority over on the chats, and I really do appreciate it. So this week we put out a video, and when I say we, if you're on here and you haven't hit subscribe, but you are part of the family, you are part of my family. You are part of this group here that I truly love. So here is my question to you. This week I put a video out about polygraphs. I spent more time on that video than almost everything I've done recently. It just tanked. So do you guys not want those kind of videos? Because it'll make my life a little bit easier to not do that research. But there's more to the story about where people are not doing well on polygraphs and what it means to fishing. So I want to know I'd love to know more what you guys want to see. If you want me to do these videos and talk about the whole Ben thing, I will. If you want me to, I don't want to be about gossip. Thank you. I don't want to be about gossip, but I want to produce the best content that everybody on here and everybody who comments and all y'all want to see. So, I know the cheating ones do really well. I know, unfortunately, I took those NPFL ones down this week because you guys, just like me, I want to know where everybody's going. I want to know who's fishing where. That is intriguing to me. And if it's intriguing to me, I'm hoping it's intriguing to you. And in the case of that polygraph video, I'm just going to be honest. I had James Watson call me today and he was like, best video you've ever done. I had another pro angler that said the same thing. And they were like, well, how did that video tank? And, I think it is what it is. And I try to talk, Chris, I try to talk about different stuff. It's hard to do content every day. That's the best way to put it. Coming up with new ideas. Sometimes I use AI and I use this application called vidIQ that gives me daily stuff that they think, oh, this might be a good idea, blah, blah, blah. And sometimes it isn't, I'm just trying to do my best. So let me put this, Randy, just keep on keeping on, brother. Yeah. Randy, and thank you, Sonic PPO. Speed Pig. That's a big name. I love it. Randy had a video within 30 minutes of that whole thing happening. Now, Randy and Ben they do not see eye to eye at all. And, Randy is really adamant about forward-facing sonar, and Ben is he's a scoper. Don't get me wrong. If you've ever watched any of Ben's earlier videos, he can catch fish anytime, any place, and any way. But, they don't see eye to eye, and that's what it comes down to. So, okay, any Sasquatch sightings in tournaments? No Sasquatch sightings. I know the guys from that one show, Bigfoot something. I don't even know the name of it now. It used to be on Discovery. They used to be big fans of the radio show. I'm going to go through some. I think all the videos great. Thank you, Michigan Outdoors. I do appreciate it. I agree. I think you got to do something. And Jason says this, and Jason and I have been friends forever. I think, as anybody will tell you, if you're not talking gossip or you're not talking drama, people don't really get into it. That's the crazy thing about what goes on YouTube. In Texas, you can buy 2 licenses every way. See, exactly. So that's why I'm not sure that the license is really um, was really was the right thing. Only probably, yeah, probably you're very right, Scott. Randy is washed. Okay, yeah, I understand. Yes, I know you tried to do it. So I thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. Dan, give this channel a thumbs up. Help him keep this going. Yes, thank you. I'm not going to stay on as long as that last week. I will tell you, I'm going to try to do this every week. I'm going to get missed. In fact, you want to know what? Hold on. We're just going to call him real fast because people have been asking about him for so long, and I have him in here, and we're just gonna make a little call real fast. I'm gonna put it on speaker, so imagine that. Hold on, and it's Mr. Bat. Oh, I didn't say sonar. Hold on.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone, please.
Well, now we have to text him. I called you during live. I'm going to get Mr. Bass on in the next week. That's what I'm going to. That's going to be one of my goals. Any national fishing license? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if there's one there. Really, this is one of the things of that I think we aren't going to give. We don't realize how next year is. This year, this week, with the elites adding to the payouts, that video, honestly, with me going and sitting down right over there, that was a one take, and I was pissed off. I think that the payout situation has just gone berserk, and you want to, just when you think you've done something and you're finished with the payouts, then they rechange it. And there were people that gave me grief because they were like, it doesn't make sense. That why are you so down on it? And I wasn't down, but I was down that they just flip-flopped. Bass has flip-flopped twice this year that I don't appreciate. I think that there's times when Bass doesn't realize who they're dealing with, or the people that are making these rule changes have never been fishermen. They've never fished, and they think they're making the right decision on a business sense. But the problem is that when they do it, then out of nowhere, the whole industry just goes crazy. Yes. And I try to reply to all my comments, Stephen, and everyone should know that. I really do. Now, I will be honest, if you put something in that's negative and it goes into, so what happens on YouTube is you have a comments folder, and then you have a held folder, and then you have an explicit comment folder. Now, if it goes to held, I can't reply to it right away. If it goes to explicit, there's probably a good chance that it gets deleted on its own. So I apologize if that happens. I don't delete any. I really don't delete anything. Fish and Bass Vaughn, I am not doing that. That's too much for me. It really is. Easy Angler is going to sleep. I think maybe, I don't even know. So okay, so let's go. I'm just going to run through these really fast. Bass has, yeah, the leadership for Bass they don't fish, and that's the problem that we have. And because of that, they just keep making the mistakes after mistakes after mistakes, and that just takes us back. When we think we're going 2 steps forward, then we have a flip flop, and we're going 4 or 5 steps back. And that tunnel that we're in, we see the light at the tunnel, but now the light was this big is now this big. And then it isn't a good thing. So, I don't even know. I'm going to go through these. Okay, if you're going to do this, let's put some fish. Maybe. There are. Hold on. There's a fishing thing there, and my son's fishing poster is there that he made me, and there's a fishing box right here with all sorts of lures that I've been given recently. Maybe not to what you want, but I don't want to go out and spend a ton of money to to do something live where I want it to just be us asking each other's questions. And that's the whole thing. You have more live than LTF had this week. I don't know what LTF is, John, so you'll have to put that in there. But this is just a good week. And you want to know what? This is a good week because we have the Ben Miliken thing is what people want to hear. What's going on with the president of the NPFL? That fight or argument happened at that restaurant. They have a court case sometime in January, I think, that I'm not 100% sure. I'm really sure. I'm 100% sure that they're not going to talk about it. I don't think they're going to do anything, the NPFL and the president. I think that's the goal, is to just say, let's let this go out in court. And I think Brad at times has a very strong temper. We've seen it with when he had this angler meeting. We saw it in a recent vlog that he posted online. And I think that he needs to take a step back. You have to understand that Brad is the key to the success of NPFL at this point in time. He is the key. He's the hardest working guy in there. But Brad comes from a place where I think he was in the Air Force, where when you don't listen to what he is saying, or your sergeant or whoever it was, his commander, I don't even know, whoever was in top of him, or listen to him, that there were repercussions that could happen to other people. And he lives his life like that. Hence why I took down the video of the anglers. It was confidential, even though a bunch of anglers shared it with me. But the problem is that he didn't want that information out. And even though it was on a private chat, and there's a bunch of people that shared it to me and told me all this stuff, they felt like I was hurting some anglers' opportunities to join NPFL. I will say, I'm not sure how this NPFL fight or argument with the anglers and Brad is going to have if it's going to affect them getting more people to sign up for 2025. That's what I would be scared about right now. Okay, let's talk fishing. What do you want to talk about? What do you want to know? Bass has completely changed. I did not realize until James Hall, guy wrote that piece, Forward Facing Sonar, saying it's not about the money. I don't know what that article says, Fishy Bass Vaughn. I don't know what that article says. I will tell you that I think that Bass didn't make any changes to Forward Facing Sonar because of the money. I think they went and said, what's going to happen in the upcoming years to these electronic sponsors? Bass does things for money. As that might sound weird, because they are a business. They want to be successful. But the truth is that most of these organizations are not successful. They barely break even. I know that for a fact. And I only know that for a fact from BPT. They barely break even. It's not they're rolling in money. So they're trying to do everything they can, not lose sponsors, grow the viewership, and hopefully continue to go down the road. I think a lot of bass organizations are looking down the line, hoping that it's going to get better. But the issue is, the only time it got better was during COVID, when there were so many new people that were jumping into fishing. And now that isn't happening. Even though we're up this year in fishing licenses, the problem is that because of forward-facing sonar and other stuff, tackle companies are getting beat up. And we have now more import costs than we've ever had. And really, it makes no sense that for me to get my 200 pack of Cinco worms used to cost me $25. Now I'm paying $55, $65 a year later. And 200 Cincos lasts me a pretty good time, but I'm one of those people that when I can get a deal, I'm going to get a deal. Okay. I don't know what that means. So let's not kill each other, okay, over here. Yeah, no drama in the feed, guys. Seriously, no drama in the feed. forward-facing sonar has made tournaments so boring and drama. And yeah, that's the problem, Scott. That's what I think most people are upset about forward-facing sonar. They're sick of watching people stare down at stuff. And we get, you know, Ben is a scoper. That a lot of people don't like Ben because he's a scoper. So, you know, it's one of those crazy times. It's jerkbait time. I agree. Right now, in the winter, when the colder water is, slow down your retrieve, get into it, and go that way. Matt Aries live podcast. Oh, I apologize. I've never watched Matt Aries podcast. No offense to him. I like Matt. I don't know him though, but I like him. Yeah, the new Japanese everything is good. So, oh, here's one. This one's going to come out that that I think is going to surprise you. I know for a fact that Ranger boats next year or soon will have Yamahas on them. Ranger has always been a Mercury person because they own or do something with it. There's been enough commotion or enough asking that now some of the new Rangers are going to have Yamahas on the back of them. I know that for a fact. I called Yamaha today, my buddy at Yamaha, and he said yes. He said, yeah, you're going to see Yamahas on Rangers. And that's really a big deal that probably not many people know about because, like I said, there's been they've had a business relationship with Mercury for so long that every Ranger boat has always been Mercury. Not any longer. We're going to start seeing Yamis on the back because people are asking for it. So there we go. Oh, John, I appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate everyone being here. I would love to go on here and go through everybody, but the problem is it's tough and really I'm gonna at some point, because I'm not gonna use the StreamYard after this week. I'm gonna use Restream. I'm gonna try to make someone a moderator that can go through here and that people who are super chat people and that are members get priority of what I'm asking or the questions. The economy hopefully is going to turn around, Riley. I really hope it is. I'm going to run through these. Here we go. Everyone check out his channel, JL Scott Fishing and Eats. If that's the case, and he didn't have a license during his elite season, we have an issue that is really going to be bad for Ben. He's saying that this is a complete misunderstanding, and you have to kind of take his word. Now, I will say, Ben is the king of clickbaits. So if he put that on a video, I wouldn't even click on it. No offense. I would just go, that is complete bullshit. He is the king of clickbaits. I can't tell you how many times he's gotten me, and I'm like, he says something in the title, and it had nothing to do with and that's one of my biggest pet peeves. It's one of the things I try not to do. And it's really hard to do YouTube and not use clickbait because you don't spend the time to make a video and then for nobody to watch it. But check out JL Scott Fishing and Eats. He has a great channel. I watch his channel. He knows this because I send him notes. I'm a Yamaha person. Yamaha was a sponsor of the radio show for 10 or 12 years, so I'm always going to be a Yamaha person. I am unbelievably loyal. That is to a fault. I believe that if you're a friend of mine, that I'll do anything I can for you. Let me look at this, Tom. Yeah, there's monopolies everywhere. Tom, that's a great comment. Great comment. Oh, here we go. Brian's going to get me. Color doesn't matter. Oh, you want to know what? Hold on. I'm going to figure out how do you invite. I'm going to put this in here. Hold on. Brian, if you see this, I'm posting a comment. If you want to come live, you can come live. Actually, anybody can come live for all I care. Herb, 100-pack of Yum Dingers, $30. I get a 100-pack of DOA Cincos. I get 200 of them. I still get them for $25. They want 60. I talk to the owner and then complain, and then he sends them to me. And really, I've been very fortunate over the years. There's a lot of tackle I don't purchase. I don't know when the last time I bought a rod or a reel, but I have bought baits because I think there's some better than others. So there we go. And Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. So anyone fish with fuzzy dice? I see madness. I don't know. Suzuki is a good one too. I do agree with Suzuki. Oh my gosh, there were a lot more comments than I really thought. I'm 31 minutes behind. It's pretty odd not to report on NPFL, and no problem throwing the bigger leagues dirty laundry out there. Let me put that up there. And now talking Ben without having any details. You're behind. You'll see. Everyone, listen to Dan. I appreciate it, Dan. So yeah, I think the hot topic of the day was. I think the Ben issue is just. I think it's going to be a huge issue. Maybe I'm wrong. I need to. I want to know. I want to know more before I make a video. I don't want to say something that will hurt his reputation or hurt him because when we start going down that road, then you can make mistakes by having the wrong information. And right now, without anyone really talking about it or getting the information from the Texas Wildlife, we don't know where we stand in it. And then I don't want to be completely trashing him. I don't know Ben. I've only met Ben once or twice. And the first time I met him, I left really fast. So I had to go to a swim meet. JL asked another question. In Texas, do they check your license when you come to a certified site? I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's a license issue and then a lunker share thing. But in some instances, I just don't think that if you're forgetting a license, that you're gonna have a fraud charge on you. That's where I would go with that. That's just me, and I could be very wrong. Maybe there's something there, but it seems to me that the ongoing investigation is the key to this story, and we need to allow it to get a little bit of legs before we go into it because everybody's kind of guessing right now. We don't know exactly what Ben is saying because he isn't saying anything. And of course, the Texas Parks and Wildlife Press group was supposed to have that out before 5 today. And as of 5, not only did they not answer 6 phone calls from me, they didn't have anything on there at all. Okay. Everyone, let's keep it real. Be respectful to everybody. Okay. I don't know if there's something going on in the chat. I'm trying to go through all of it. What is the best rod under $100? Ugh, that's a tough one. I think you got to look at some graphite rods if you can. I think there's some really fantastic new rods. There's some really fantastic new rods. I think what the average angler doesn't know is that you can go to a place overseas and on the wall, a rod building company will be every rod from every company. And you can go, I want that rod, but I want it in a green handle and I want it in a green thing. I'm not saying that's Guggen, by the way. I'm just using green because it was the first thing that came to my mind. And so you can say that, and then you can buy X amount of rods. So there's a lot of rods, unless they're built here in the States, and they're built completely here in the States by like Mud Hole or American Tackle or something like that, that you're going to get a lot of rods that are exact duplicates of some of the best ones. And rods don't cost that much to make. The really high-end ones do. But you look at, no, I'm not going to say something that's not, might get me in trouble. Years ago at the Classic, you could get 3 Ducket rods for $99. And Boyd still made a profit. There's no exaggeration. He still made a profit. He sold 3 for $99 or $129 or something. He was still making a profit. Just remember that. Okay? All Star is a great one. F. Ronnie, that's a great one. Great one, too. Louis from Walmart. Steve, if he's found guilty, do you think Bass bans him? So here's where things really get into a little bit of a scary situation. There are states that if you, I don't read that. Greg, there are states that if you get in trouble and you don't have your license, that other states won't allow you to get your license there. So, like in Texas, if something happens and he gets a fine or whatever it is, then he's not allowed to get a fishing license in Georgia or Florida or someplace like that. I don't know exactly where. So that will have a definite impact on where he can fish. And Ben is going to keep us in the, he's going to clickbait us on. I'm not sure where I'm going. I'm not doing that. He's fishing the elites. They don't put him on that Bassmaster Elite Angler Advisory Board if he's not fishing next season. And he just, and those are the things that make me crazy about clickbait. So if he gets in trouble and he has an issue, then there's going to be a snowball effect that happens to him. And hopefully it doesn't. But again, we don't know enough. That's the craziest thing about what's going on, because like this is the craziest, one of the craziest things there is. Of all things, I did a video today about the most controversial people behind or in bass fishing for 2024. Ben wasn't on that list at all. After today, he should have been on that list. And I go through a bunch of people who I think are controversial, give you why, and then come to the person who I think was the most controversial for 2024. There you go. Let me get Herb, because he is a member and I appreciate it. The Texas Parks and Wildlife requires a contestant to sign a legal document attesting that he or she is legally fishing and is in lying. That could be fraud. That might be the case. There might be a share lunker or something situation that's going on. And I need to say, Herb, I really appreciate that you've been a member for so long. I really appreciate it. So thank you. Let me turn this off. Okay, let me go back into this. Here's some good rods if you guys want to buy a good rod. Here's one from Brian. He says it's a great rod. I don't know what this is. Put the scale Dewey in my hink pack. I don't know what that means. I'm 20 minutes behind. Happy to come on sometime and explain the bass disqualification. Drew Gregory. Protest as one of the few people that has ever discussed appeal. Drew, I would love to have you on. I would say you can come on today, but you'll see it'll probably be, you're so far behind that it might not. But Drew, email me or contact me and we'll get it. Ben's issue seems like a clerical error. It might be. Thank you. It might be a clerical error for all I know. I really. So if it was a clerical error, there wouldn't be this is just me thinking outside of the box. And I could very well be wrong. And if I'm wrong, I apologize. If it was a clerical issue, they might just say it was a clerical issue and it wasn't a active investigation going on. There are certain things that you can assume, even though that makes an ass out of you and me, you can assume that are happening because of how things are said. Like an active investigation, that it was a misdemeanor A and B, and that it's considered fraud. So we can put things together and then kind of go that way. Okay, let me go through a lot of these. Sorry. Love the show. Thank you, Daniel. Gotta go. I'll see you later. Lightning M, I've seen him a bunch. Lightning, you might be dead on right. There is a chance that if he doesn't, that this has an issue with him on the elites, and that's going to be crazy. Oh, there's a great one. The loose KVD spinning rod for $87. Can't go wrong with that. JL, any conservation officers can validate anyone's license when they don't have. Yes, all you gotta do is give them your thing. I agree with that. Again, Sonic PPO Speed Big, thank you for becoming a member. I really do appreciate it. And you'll see, Sonic, you're gonna see that you get access to the videos probably 2 or 3 weeks ahead, because there might be, I think I'm done with all of December as of right now. So you'll see it. Members get to see videos way ahead of everybody, and you can comment. And then also when you comment, I also will give you my phone number, so you can text me or call me, because that's what happens. There are people that are members that text me while this is going on, and I don't mind, because I appreciate it. Oh, sorry. Where did I miss that one? Why does everyone think why does everyone think everyone in Bassmaster is now cheating? And what exactly are we calling cheating when we were talking about? I don't know if we think, I don't think anyone's cheating. If that was said on here, I apologize. I don't think, I think there's gray areas to what are going on. And I think they're trying to make it as legitimate as possible because people are now like, just use Trey McKinney, for example. Fantastic, unbelievable year. But man, he made a lot of mistakes. He made a lot of mistakes. Just not even like thoughtless mistakes. I don't want to say stupid, but stupid mistakes. But there's more people watching everybody nowadays. And there's a lot of anglers that are very petty and jealous, in my opinion. I know I talk to a lot of anglers. And the ones that I really get along with have the same morals and the same traditions that I have. And we seem to have a good mesh. I mean, I'm just going to say one in particular. My relationship with Shaw Grigsby and Bill Dance are as good as it can get in life. I don't talk to him as often as I used to. But even Jimmy Houston, I text Jimmy Houston about his wife all the time. How is she doing? How's this? How's that? So when you get, I don't know how that wraps around to this, but hopefully not everyone thinks that everyone's cheating all the time. Drew is the man. Drew, you'll have to email me and we'll have to talk and you can come on here. I am going to start slowly bringing people into this and talking and having interviews. It's what I did when I did the radio show. I just have to figure out, I don't want to do the same thing as everyone else. And I think like Bass Talk Live is fantastic. I think he's probably the best. He knows his stuff and he's just really good. But I'm going to try to do that. And like I said, if somebody wants to come on, they can use that link. I'll put that link in the post again. You can use that link and come on and say hello. But we're only going to be on for a little bit more. I want to watch a movie with Thomas. I imagine if this Bass is aware of what happened. They commented that they were looking into the situation in that Daily News article that was written. So, yeah. What's this I'm hearing about? A LBS 36. I don't know what that is. Oh, that's a great price for a rod too. Sorry, I didn't see it. Yeah. Let's keep going through these. Right, I understand. No sweat. Thanks, Dean. GMC Outdoors. That's just an opinion. Okay, here we go. Ray. I caught a Lancashire on, I'm not going to be able to say that name, outside of that same area. There is a whole video of him on Ben going through the process. Oh, well, that would be, if it was done in February of last year, that is the time that this infraction occurred. So there might be something out there, because that's what when I first heard the news, I thought, oh my gosh, maybe he did something that on a video that was caught and now is caught up to him. So yeah, I don't know. Are those fishing tackle boxes becoming a thing of the past? I thought they were a thing of the past a couple of years ago. I was probably one of the first people to do a live unboxing. Unfortunately, it was on the radio, so you didn't get to see it, but you got to hear it. And we did have cameras all over, so it was streaming live on YouTube, on Facebook. But I think I was the first one, because when Monster Bass started, they gave me a 3-month subscription, and then they also gave me 3 months to give away, and it was really pretty amazing. Did Miss Falcon has, that's a great rod too. No, he didn't. He did not. I'm gonna call him while I'm talking. He did not answer my text. I think he's a couple or an hour behind us. But you want to know it? We'll call him right now. Do we know what county Ben? It was that county from Nacogdoches, Texas. I butchered that. That was where he was. There actually is a mugshot photo where he's smiling really hard. There's a thing when it says, I'm going to move my screen over, and I'm going to just open that. It gives you I wonder if that's going to open. I wish I could just go like this. No, I can't do that. I wish there was a way to add a graphic on here so you could see what I'm talking about. Maybe there is if I really don't know. Brand. Let me just try to put this. Intro video, video clips. Not doing that. Add music. Wait, wonder if I upload a logo. Nope. Won't let me do that either. Brand. So yeah, it won't let me do it. If you go to the Daily Mail thing or you go to Bass Boat Central and create an account, you'll see that they have a mugshot, they have the case number, what the infraction was, and that kind of stuff. Let me go back to comments. There it is. Yeah, I don't want to call anyone a cheater, Stephen, to be honest. I'm not saying Ben cheated at all. If he's saying that was a poker chip, if Ben's saying that it was during a recreational fishing time, then that's a completely different story. I think the problem these days is there's a lot of pettiness and jealousy between anglers, and when you start winning, then the first thing people are going to say is that person cheated. I mean, a perfect example is an article, a story that I was going to do this week. And hold on, I'm going to bring it on. Hey, Sonic, how are you?
Doing great. How are you, sir?
Not too bad. Nice to meet you. Hey, Sonic, how are you?
Doing great.
I think we're hearing a little bit of an echo. Do you have a question?
Yeah, let me mute this or kill my speaker here. I'm sorry about that, guys. Yeah, let's try this now.
Yeah, it works perfect.
Let me give you a little tip on I don't know the particulars of this, but I can tell you that every big bass event, from the splash to the Sherlunker stuff we're talking about, there are more game wardens, Texas Parks and Wildlife game wardens. At that event, if you weigh a fish or you take a fish across the scale, your license is checked that day. You're issued a fine. You're disqualified from further events. They report that to the state, to all the organizations. If this happened way back in February, there's something else going on here. I'm really good friends with multiple game wardens. I used to go out and ride with them. I rode with Texas State Troopers. I fished with a game warden. If this was about a license that was in a tournament for a big bass, they are there. Matter of fact, they put on the big bass splash for Sherlunkers. It's a Texas Parks and Wildlife sponsored event. So you can't tell me they wouldn't have caught him the day he weighed the fish in. This has got to be something else or a different situation.
Yes, I agree completely. I think there's more to the story that we just don't know at this point in time.
Absolutely.
And that's one of the many reasons why I don't want to just jump to conclusions. But like I said, I think there's certain things we can rule out by saying, this isn't about a fishing license. This is obviously about something else. And the problem is like I've said a million times, that press office for the Texas Parks and Wildlife did not answer the phone for 6 or 7 phone calls.
Yeah, this I don't know what this is, guys. I don't have a clue. But I can tell you it's not about a fishing license that wasn't presented when he weighed his fish or went across the stage with a fish. There's got to be something else going on here. And yeah, I appreciate you taking my call. I should have been a member a long time ago. I've been watching you for a while. Appreciate the content, and I will drop off. And I just had to say that because those game wardens are there in force. They even check your boat. If everything in your boat's not perfect, you get fined. You don't get arrested or thrown in jail by the local PD 6 or 7 or 8 months later. So either this is a whole sham, we're all getting scammed, or something else is going on here. Thanks, guys.
I have to say, I've thought about that. Is this in April? This is not April 1st, but is this a Friday the 13th? Nacogdoches. I'm still gonna butcher that. Lightning. I'm not. That's Drew Gray definitely was. Okay. Well, I'm hoping Drew can come on and do that. Nacogdoches? Maybe that's it. Nacogdoches. Okay. If that's the case, there we have it. Thank you. I got to just say thank you to him for coming on and being a member. So there was one other thing that I wanted to talk about today. I was gonna do an article, or maybe I did do it. Oh, there is a video about this. You're gonna see it. There was an angle that I heard it on BTL that was just doing so well that the tournament decided to not invite him back. And I don't know when that you want to. I'm going to give you a rundown of what's coming up on the channel, but I have to look on the other channel on the other screen. So just excuse me for 1 second. But this Ben thing, like I said, I really think we're going to see something. I mean, is it clickbait? Is it a publicity stunt? I don't know. Is it clickbait? He could have pranked us. So upcoming content. So over this next week, what day is today? Oh, there's a video tomorrow. What day is? Oh no, tomorrow's video. What day is the 13th? Jesus. So Monday's video is about Jacob Wheeler. Will Jacob Wheeler become the next greatest of all time? Then you'll finally see the story behind Get Your Fish On. I did that a long time ago, and I've been pushing it back time after time after time because I'm not sure everyone's really interested in watching something explaining the background of why I do this channel and where I come from and why I know so many people. But then you'll see the 5 biggest mistakes new bass fishermen make, over under on Mark Daniels, kicked out of bass fishing tournaments, best rookie class, closer looks, bass fishing cover-ups, who's the most controversial, and then is the future bright for fishing. Now, if you remember, you can see most of those. I think the last 2 you'll see because the other ones are scheduled at this point. So we have most of our videos done through the end of the year, excluding if I do something on Ben Miliken or I do something on NPFL. I'm going to be just completely straightforward. There's probably a 1% chance that I do something on the NPFL fight. I'm trying to build my relationship with NPFL, and if I'm attacking or seem like I'm attacking the person who's in charge of NPFL, there's a good chance that I'll get kicked back I'll get my face kicked in. That's the best way to put it. Brad and I and Al and I have had a rocky relationship over the years, only because 4 years ago I'm hypercritical about a lot of things, but I was overly critical about what I thought they could do and should do to get to the next level. Unfortunately, it took 4 years for them to listen to me and then hire Ken Duke, because Ken Duke and I have almost the same strategy on what they would do. Build the media, build the stuff. And that's not a slight against them. But now they have a media department or a media group, and that media group is doing fantastic. So I don't want to get myself in trouble. That's why I deleted those other 2 videos. Those other 2 videos are guaranteed clickers because everyone wants to know who's coming into the NPFL for next year. What Bass Elite anglers are going to the NPFL, because it matters to them. Who's going where? And those videos I do really well with. So, but I took those 2 videos down this week because of, first it was confidential, but I thought it was the right thing to do. So I probably won't do a video on that NPFL fight. I probably will do something about Ben, because Ben is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, YouTube content creator out there right now. I don't know about the Guggen guys. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know. Hold on, Don Dudson. Let me look at it. That's true. It was just reported on another channel that Ben did not have a license and falsified the entry form. The other channel quoted someone from, of course, the press release from Texas Wildlife. If they put that out, then those people there's something wrong with them. Don with a hot hand. Yeah, thanks, Don. That's great. I'll have to. So the channel was. If you could put the channel name on. The fight is public. It is public knowledge. But what I'm saying, there's more. What you were hearing on the fight is just that he was that he had to go down to he had 2 misdemeanors or something. Brad had 2 misdemeanors. We haven't heard Brad's side of the story, and that's really one of the more important things. I want to know Brad's side of the story. Is your son Thomas not swimming due to the broken wrist? He is not swimming because of the broken wrist. So Thomas fell and landed like this on his bike when pulling a wheelie. So this bone this place right here, exactly right here, shattered. So Thomas has been out of swimming for 3 weeks. If you don't know, my son Thomas is a super swimmer. You might think you're a fish. He's a fish. He's a state champion. He's unbelievable. He's the best, or one of the best. I understand what you're saying, JMCC. I understand. I do agree with you. I'd rather not poke the bear right now. That's the whole thing. Of all things, I had to call Todd. I texted Todd and what's his buddy's name? Because they called me a dirtbag on their show, and because he was the person that was joining NPFL and wasn't happy of my video, and he got on their live show and called me a dirtbag, and I didn't appreciate it. So I texted Todd and we talked, and then the next thing you know, I talked to his buddy too, Upshaw. I apologize, I forgot his name. Andrew Upshaw. I forgot everything. This is the brain. So we talked it out, and he said, I didn't mean to call you that. It was, just an instinct. So we cleared the air, and it was all good. Todd is the GOAT. Oh, okay. Hold on. Todd's better than KBD? I'm joking, JMCC. In Texas, at least. Oh, okay, yes. Okay, there you go. Oh, wait, whoa, wait a minute. Isn't Lee Livesey or Hank Cherry Jr. or isn't he the GOAT over there? Because I mean, that guy, Lee Livesey can wins everything in Texas. Follow Odin Fishing for future over-unders on new boats. Okay. Todd is a sensitive person. Okay, I didn't know that. Todd and I have a pretty good relationship. He used to come on the show every now and then. So yes, highly passionate. I would agree. So anyway, Drew, if you see this is my email. That's my email address. If you guys see it, I don't care. You guys can send me an email too. If you would email me so we can exchange phone numbers, that would be great, because I'd love to talk to you and hear your stories for sure. So yeah, interesting week again with the NPFL stuff, then with the fight, then today we had the Bassmaster flip-flopping, and then we had today Ben Miliken. So, there are times during the off season that it's unbelievably hard to figure out topics to do videos on. This is not the week for it. There have been so many opportunities to do videos and to get the content out that unfortunately I didn't do one for the NPFL, and I should have, but it's one of those things. And there's my email for everybody. Danny Brower. Oh yeah. Does anyone have a guess as to who Todd was smacked? Who was smacked by Byron Vellert from Mercer's interview? I don't know. I mean, we could ask Dave Mercer, but it's probably too late to call Dave Mercer. And Dave and I don't talk that much. But anyway, okay, so we'll do another live show next Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will talk about Ben Miliken again. For sure. We'll talk about what's going on in the industry. This story with Ben Miliken is going to probably continue to build momentum over the next few days. I'll do my best to post or get as many notes as I can down. I will call the press office on Monday to see if I can figure out what they say and what their exact stuff is, what their stance is, why it's still an active investigation. I will say I know for a fact that CT, who is Cerebral Tackle, will be doing some sort of video on this. Can't guarantee it, but I'm pretty sure. Hold on, let me see. I would agree with you, JMCC. I will say this, if something was done shady and he gets in trouble, unfortunately, because Texas is where they're holding the Classic, this would ruin that opportunity to fish the Classic. And I think, as crazy as this might sound, at this point in time, since we're still a long way away from the Classic, Ben would be one of the favorites at the Classic in 2025. He's a great Texas fisherman, and he will be able to know the patterns of what's going on in of those fish. So if he has something and this hinders him from going to the Classic, that would really suck. I don't like that word, but that would really stink. So let's hope not. Again, next, make sure you go and like and subscribe. And if you want to be a member, I really appreciate it. And do all that stuff. Support the channel if you can. If you can't, it's all right too. But we'll keep putting out videos, or I'll keep putting out videos, and we'll try to keep up with all the news that's going on. And I need to just make sure I say thank you to the community, because you guys don't realize how it's not fun every day. But I really enjoy getting up in the morning and then answering comments and learning from you. So if you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button, hit that like, and just be part of the team. Because really, it isn't even a team. You're part of my family. I'm not joking. If you email me or text me or whatever it is, I reply to everything. Because to be honest, I don't think that anyone can be too big to just spend a minute to say thank you or to try to help somebody. As I say that, I'm checking my email right now. Oh, there he is. I'm going to, Guadalupe, I'm texting you back right now. Hold on. Guadalupe, you just received my phone number. Please do not share it. There you go. Let's get to that 20,000. Actually, 20,000 isn't where my goal is. I have higher expectations, and maybe I'll go through that at some point in time on where I'm at and why. But at this point in time, it's still one of those. It's one of the few things that I keep private. I'm a very, very competitive person, and I don't want to give anybody or any other channels traction and kind of show my cards on what I'm thinking and where I'm thinking. Having said that, I talked to somebody this week that had a whole bunch of questions because they were I consider myself a small channel. They were a small channel too. And Mark Fisher Outdoors, go check him out. And I talked to him, and then I gave him all sorts of ideas that he should be doing. So let's do that. And yes, I am. If you didn't know, I am tall. I think I said this last week. Hank, am I really that tall? I mean, you're tall too, if I remember right. You're taller than me. But yes, I am slightly tall. I'm 6'4.5". So next Friday, yes, thanks. I didn't know that. You could have texted me that, by the way. Hank, you could have just said, listen, check out his channel too. Oh, I didn't. I thought you were taller than me. So next Friday night, 8 p.m., we'll try to get somebody on. I'm going to try to get a hold of Mr. Bass. We'll try to just get him on for just a few minutes. We'll talk more about the Ben Miliken situation. Hopefully we'll have more news on it. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you to everybody. Thank you to JoJo for becoming a new member. Make sure you go on there. I do have a Tackle Warehouse affiliation. I don't really put it on there, but if you see any, if you want to buy something for Tackle Warehouse and you see any of my closer look videos, check out the Tackle Warehouse link in there, and you can get on there. It does support the channel. It's so tiny in the grand scheme of things. That's why I don't really go over it. So, yeah, that's a good question. I wonder who the next man would be if he doesn't fish the Classic. I can figure that out pretty fast if I looked at the stuff. But thank you to everybody being on here. Thank you to all the people. This was unbelievable tonight. and hopefully we can continue to grow, because we're a community. That's the truth. We are a family, and we are a team. So I don't want anybody trashing each other. I just want us to be honest. And really, the whole thing, like maybe I should read it now. I had a whole thing about, oh, I can't find it. I had a whole thing about how to go, but we can agree to disagree, but it's how we learn from each other is the key to us continuing to go down a road and to build this community. That's the whole thing. We are a community. So I thank you all. So thanks everybody. Ray, thank you. I just sent you an email. Would you tell me if you received my email real fast? I didn't hear my phone go, but it says I sent it to you at 9:13. Okay, hold on. I have another person. Oh, God. I can't read this one. I will send him a text afterwards, though. So thank you to everybody. Thank you to all the new subscribers, all the new members, all the people who did super chat, all that stuff. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. It helps the channel. I really don't make, being a YouTube content creator, unless you're doing Randy numbers, then you probably make a pretty good living. I do not do that well. So anything I can get and continue to go down this road with you guys and try to keep us informed and do the best we can is what the goal is. So thank you. Seriously, thank you. I can't say it enough. I haven't even done another bike thing. Bike's the best thing I've ever done for this channel, even though I do nothing. Okay, good, you got it. You're allowed to text me. Just, remember I have a little boy that isn't so little. He's 14, but we go to bed a little bit early. So thank you, everybody. I really appreciate all of you guys. I can't say it enough. I really do appreciate y'all. It's unbelievable. So thank you, and we'll see you next Friday, okay? Or Monday, whenever that video comes out. We'll talk Monday. So thank you. Cheers. Tight lines, and get your fish on. Now I have a scratchy nose.